Hey everyone, have you ever found yourself hovering over your team, checking in on every little detail, making sure everything is done exactly how you want it? If you have, you're not alone. Many leaders fall into the trap of micromanaging because they think it guarantees control, quality, and efficiency. But here's the truth. What leaders often get wrong about micromanaging is that, in reality, it erodes the very things they value most: trust, creativity, and ownership. Leaders often fall into the trap of micromanaging because they believe that overseeing every detail ensures the highest quality and control over outcomes. This is a natural instinct. After all, as leaders, the success of the team and the organization rests on our shoulders. We want to ensure that everything is done perfectly, that no mistakes are made, and that all objectives are achieved. However, what many leaders fail to realize is that micromanaging does not foster the environment of control they seek, but rather undermines the very foundation of trust on which successful teams are built. When leaders micromanage, they are sending a clear message to their team: I don't trust you to do this on your own. This message, whether intended or not, can have a profound and lasting impact on employee morale, creativity, and overall engagement. Trust is the cornerstone of effective leadership. Without trust, relationships within a team cannot flourish. Trust allows team members to take initiative, make decisions, and feel confident in their ability to contribute meaningfully. However, micromanaging erodes that trust. When leaders constantly hover over their team members, checking every detail and scrutinizing every decision, employees begin to feel like they are being treated as though they are incapable of doing their job without constant supervision. This lack of faith in their abilities can be demoralizing. It tells them that their expertise and judgment are not valued, and that they are seen as unreliable or incapable of performing at a high standard. This type of environment quickly leads to disengagement, as team members may begin to feel that their contributions are not important, or that their creativity is stifled by the constant oversight. One of the most detrimental consequences of micromanaging is the way it impacts creativity. Creativity thrives in an environment where employees feel free to explore ideas, take risks, and make mistakes. When leaders micromanage, they inhibit this freedom. They create a culture where employees are constantly second-guessing themselves and their ideas. The fear of being criticized for making a mistake or taking the wrong approach can prevent them from proposing new solutions or thinking outside the box. Instead of seeing their work as an opportunity for innovation, employees start to view it as a series of tasks to be completed according to someone else's rules. As a result, the energy and enthusiasm for problem-solving and creative thinking are drained away, leaving employees with a sense of frustration and stagnation. Furthermore, micromanaging can lead to a vicious cycle of decreased engagement. When employees feel that they are being micromanaged, they often begin to withdraw emotionally from their work. Instead of being motivated to go above and beyond, they start doing just enough to meet expectations. Or worse, they disengage entirely. This lack of emotional investment in their work can lead to lower productivity and quality, precisely what micromanagers hope to avoid. Ironically, micromanagers, in their attempt to control every detail, are often the very ones contributing to a decline in the very outcomes they wish to improve. Another issue with micromanaging is that it creates an environment where employees do not feel empowered to make decisions or take ownership of their tasks. Leadership should be about guiding and supporting teams to become independent and capable of taking responsibility for their work. When employees are constantly told what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, they never develop the confidence to take the reins on their own. Without this empowerment, team members may become passive recipients of instructions rather than active contributors to the process. This lack of ownership not only stifles individual growth, but also reduces the overall effectiveness of the team as a whole. Teams work best when everyone feels they have a stake in the outcome, but micromanaging prevents that sense of ownership from ever taking root. Ultimately, micromanagement fails to achieve its intended goal of ensuring control and quality. In fact, it often results in the opposite effect. Rather than maintaining high standards and outcomes, micromanaging undermines the trust, creativity, and engagement that drive success. Instead of focusing on controlling every detail, leaders should focus on empowering their teams, trusting them to handle tasks, offering guidance when needed, and providing the autonomy necessary for them to thrive. When trust is given, when teams are empowered, and when employees feel they have the space to be creative and take ownership, the result is not only a more positive work environment, but also better performance and higher quality outcomes. Trust is the key to unlocking the true potential of any team, and it is far more effective than micromanagement in achieving long-term success. Leaders are often faced with the heavy responsibility of driving their teams towards success. This responsibility can feel overwhelming, and in many cases, the pressure to maintain control over every aspect of a project or decision leads leaders to take on more than they can handle. In these moments, they may feel compelled to manage every detail themselves, or overly dictate how their team members should approach their tasks. While this may seem like a way to ensure that nothing slips through the cracks, the reality is that trying to do everything or control every action can lead to burnout not only for the leader, but for their team as well. This creates a toxic cycle of exhaustion, disengagement, and missed opportunities for growth and improvement. The first aspect of this burnout cycle is the effect on the leader themselves. When leaders fail to delegate effectively, they often take on too much work, trying to juggle multiple tasks that should be shared among their team. This leads to long hours, stress, and eventually exhaustion. The leader becomes overwhelmed, and instead of focusing on higher-level strategy and decision-making, they are caught up in the weeds of day-to-day operations. This constant demand on their time and energy saps their motivation and clarity, making it harder to think creatively or to make informed decisions. Over time, this exhaustion builds up, leading to burnout. In this state, a leader can no longer provide the inspiration, guidance, and support that their team needs. They become less effective, which further exacerbates their stress and leaves them feeling like they're sinking under the weight of their responsibilities. At the same time, this failure to delegate places an unreasonable burden on the team as well. When leaders try to control every detail, they inadvertently communicate that they don't trust their team to do the work on their own. This sense of being undervalued and micromanaged can create frustration among team members. Instead of feeling empowered and motivated, employees may feel disempowered, as though their contributions are irrelevant. As the leader's expectations grow, and as they push to do more and more themselves, the team is left with less space to innovate, make decisions, or grow in their roles. This situation inevitably leads to burnout on the part of team members. They may feel that no matter how hard they work, they are not trusted to take ownership or initiative. This stifles their sense of autonomy and reduces their ability to take pride in their work, ultimately leading to disengagement and dissatisfaction. Moreover, when a leader tries to control every aspect of a project, they prevent their team from developing important skills like problem-solving, decision-making, and leadership. Employees are less likely to take the initiative or develop their abilities when they are constantly waiting for direction from a leader who is unwilling to delegate. This lack of growth contributes to burnout, as team members feel stagnant and unfulfilled. Without opportunities to learn and take on more responsibility, they lose motivation and may begin to feel like they are in a dead-end job. The team becomes less dynamic, less resourceful, and less resilient, creating a workforce that is unable to adapt to challenges or drive innovation. When leaders consistently oversee every small task and decision, they may believe they are ensuring quality and efficiency. However, by doing so, they undermine their team members' sense of ownership and personal growth. While attention to detail is important, excessive involvement in the day-to-day tasks of employees can stifle their ability to take initiative, make decisions, and develop their skills. Over time, this approach prevents employees from gaining the confidence and experience they need to grow in their roles and can lead to a stagnant, disengaged workforce. Instead of fostering an environment of innovation, self-reliance, and creativity, leaders who micromanage inadvertently create a culture where employees are conditioned to wait for direction rather than stepping up and taking ownership of their work. Ownership is a crucial component of employee engagement and performance. When team members feel responsible for their work, they are more likely to take pride in it and go the extra mile to ensure its success. This sense of ownership fosters accountability, commitment, and a deeper investment in the outcomes of their efforts. However, when leaders continually oversee and direct every action, employees begin to feel like they are simply following orders, rather than actively contributing to the success of the team. This shift from ownership to passivity can lead to a lack of motivation, as employees no longer see themselves as the drivers of success. Instead of feeling empowered to take the lead, they begin to rely on their leaders to make decisions for them, reducing their initiative and creativity. This lack of ownership also hinders personal growth and development. When employees are not trusted to make decisions or solve problems on their own, they miss out on valuable opportunities for learning and growth. Making decisions, even small ones, is a critical part of developing leadership skills and gaining confidence in one's abilities. When leaders micromanage, they deprive their team members of these opportunities. Employees learn to follow instructions rather than thinking critically about their work. And as a result, they never have the chance to develop the skills needed for higher level responsibilities. This lack of growth can lead to stagnation, where employees feel like they are stuck in a cycle of performing the same tasks without moving forward in their careers. Furthermore, when leaders constantly oversee every small task, they limit the potential for innovation within their teams. Innovation thrives in environments where individuals are encouraged to think creatively, experiment with new ideas, and learn from their mistakes. Micromanagement, on the other hand, creates an atmosphere of fear and hesitation. When employees feel that they are being closely watched and scrutinized, they are less likely to take risks or propose new ideas. They may worry that their suggestions will be shot down or that their mistakes will be met with criticism rather than support. As a result, employees become more focused on meeting expectations and avoiding mistakes than on thinking outside the box or challenging the status quo. This fear of failure and lack of autonomy also stifles the development of critical problem-solving skills. When leaders take control of every situation, employees are never given the chance to find solutions on their own. Problem-solving is a skill that is honed through experience and practice. When employees are allowed to take ownership of their work and make decisions, they develop the confidence to tackle challenges independently. This not only helps them grow as individuals, but also benefits the team as a whole, as each member becomes more capable of handling complex tasks and contributing to the team's success. In contrast, when employees are constantly waiting for direction, they become less resourceful and less equipped to handle problems without assistance. Moreover, micromanaging can create a sense of frustration and disengagement within the team. Employees may feel that their leaders do not trust their abilities or believe they are incapable of handling responsibility. This lack of trust can erode morale and lead to a decrease in overall job satisfaction. When people feel that their contributions are undervalued or that they are being treated like children, they are less likely to feel motivated to do their best work. In the long run, this disengagement can lead to higher turnover rates as employees seek out roles where they are trusted and given the autonomy to succeed. The key to fostering ownership and growth within a team is trust. Leaders need to trust their team members to take responsibility for their work and make decisions independently. When employees are given the freedom to own their tasks, they become more invested in the outcome and are more likely to go above and beyond to ensure success. This trust not only empowers employees, but also encourages innovation as team members feel more confident in sharing their ideas and taking risks. By stepping back and allowing team members to lead, make decisions, and solve problems, leaders can create a culture where ownership, growth, and innovation thrive. This ultimately leads to a more engaged, motivated, and high-performing team. In the end, leadership is not about controlling every detail. It's about guiding and supporting others to reach their full potential. When leaders become too focused on controlling every aspect of the workflow, they often believe they are ensuring efficiency and quality. However, this level of oversight can have unintended consequences that severely impact the development of their team members' problem-solving abilities. While managing the overall direction of a project is important, over-involvement in every step of the process prevents employees from developing the skills necessary to think critically, troubleshoot issues independently, and solve problems on their own. In the long run, this dependency on the leader creates a fragile dynamic where the team is unable to function without constant guidance, making the organization less resilient and adaptable to change. One of the most significant consequences of micromanagement is the stifling of employees' ability to think critically and solve problems. Problem solving is a vital skill in any workplace. It allows individuals to address challenges, make decisions, and improve processes. When leaders control every detail of a project, team members are not given the chance to take ownership of problems and explore potential solutions on their own. Instead of being encouraged to analyze situations, think through challenges, and find creative answers, employees are conditioned to rely on their leader for direction. Over time, they become accustomed to waiting for answers rather than finding them, which weakens their ability to navigate complex situations or make independent decisions. This lack of problem-solving experience ultimately limits personal growth. Employees who are not given the opportunity to face challenges on their own cannot develop the confidence and skills necessary for higher level responsibilities. When problem solving is left solely to the leader, it not only burdens the leader with an excessive workload, but also prevents employees from growing into more capable, self-sufficient professionals. This lack of development affects not only individual team members, but the organization as a whole, as it prevents the team from becoming more versatile and adaptable. Furthermore, when employees are not given the freedom to solve problems independently, the team becomes increasingly reliant on the leader for every decision. This reliance leads to a bottleneck in decision-making, as every issue or challenge has to be filtered through the leader. This can cause delays, slow down productivity, and create a situation where the leader is overwhelmed with decisions, many of which could have been handled by their team members. The more the leader takes control, the less equipped the team becomes to act without the leader's intervention, creating a cycle of dependency that undermines the overall effectiveness of the team. In addition to this dependency, the lack of problem-solving autonomy also prevents teams from adapting to changes quickly and effectively. In fast-paced work environments, challenges can arise unexpectedly, and problems must be addressed swiftly to maintain momentum. Teams that rely too heavily on their leader for guidance are often ill-prepared to handle sudden issues without that external input. This creates a vulnerability in the team's ability to remain flexible and responsive to the needs of the business. When problem solving is not ingrained in the team's culture, they are less likely to take initiative in addressing new challenges, and more likely to freeze up in situations where quick action is required. As a result, the organization becomes less agile, unable to pivot or adjust when circumstances change, which can be disastrous in a competitive market. Moreover, the absence of problem-solving opportunities can lead to frustration and disengagement within the team. Employees who feel that their decisions are constantly being scrutinized or overridden may become demotivated. They start to feel that their expertise and input are undervalued, leading to a decline in their confidence. This lack of empowerment often causes employees to disengage from the work they are doing. Rather than feeling like active contributors to the team's success, they begin to see themselves as passive participants, waiting for instructions rather than taking initiative. This disengagement not only harms the individual employee, but also affects the team's overall morale and productivity. A company's culture is the foundation on which its success is built. It shapes how employees feel about their work, how they interact with one another, and how they approach challenges. When a culture of micromanagement takes root within an organization, it has the potential to stifle the very elements that contribute to a healthy and thriving work environment. Rather than fostering an atmosphere of trust, collaboration, and innovation, micromanagement creates a culture where fear and hesitation take hold. Employees become afraid to make mistakes, hesitant to take risks, and reluctant to step outside of their comfort zones. Over time, this type of environment leads to disengagement, decreased morale, and a lack of innovation, all of which can negatively impact the long-term success of the organization. One of the most damaging aspects of a micromanagement-driven culture is the climate of fear that it creates. Employees, when constantly scrutinized and controlled, begin to feel that they are under constant evaluation. Every decision, every action, and every interaction is watched closely, and the threat of criticism or punishment looms over them. This fear of making mistakes can be paralyzing. Employees may avoid taking risks, even if those risks could lead to new opportunities or creative solutions. Instead of feeling empowered to experiment or propose bold ideas, they become focused solely on avoiding errors and adhering to rigid instructions. This leads to a lack of initiative, as employees focus on following orders and avoiding failure rather than on finding new ways to improve or contribute to the company's growth. Over time, this fear diminishes the overall level of creativity and innovation within the team. Moreover, micromanagement directly undermines the trust that is essential to a healthy company culture. Trust is the cornerstone of any strong team or organization. When employees feel trusted by their leaders to make decisions and take responsibility for their work, they are more likely to invest themselves emotionally and intellectually in the tasks at hand. They are more willing to collaborate, take ownership, and contribute new ideas. However, when leaders micromanage, they signal to their employees that they do not have confidence in their abilities. This lack of trust breeds resentment and disengagement. As employees begin to feel undervalued and unappreciated, rather than feeling like active contributors, they become passive participants, waiting for instructions rather than stepping up to take ownership of their roles. Without trust, the team becomes fragmented and communication breaks down, leading to a disengaged workforce. In a micromanaged culture, employees also lose their sense of autonomy. Autonomy is essential to employee satisfaction and growth. It allows individuals to take initiative, make decisions, and feel accountable for their work. When leaders control every detail and dictate how tasks should be carried out, employees lose the opportunity to make decisions for themselves. They are conditioned to wait for direction and to follow instructions without questioning or thinking critically. This lack of autonomy diminishes employees' sense of ownership over their work and hinders their personal development. In turn, they become less invested in the outcome of their tasks and less motivated to go above and beyond. Autonomy also promotes self-confidence as employees learn to trust their own judgment and abilities. A culture of micromanagement, however, stifles this growth, leaving employees dependent on their leaders for every decision. The absence of trust, freedom, and autonomy in a micromanaged culture also affects teamwork and collaboration. A healthy company culture thrives on open communication, mutual respect, and the free exchange of ideas. When employees feel that they are being constantly monitored and controlled, they are less likely to speak up, share their ideas, or collaborate freely with their colleagues. They may fear that any suggestion or disagreement will be met with disapproval or rejection. This inhibits creativity and prevents the team from working together effectively. Collaboration becomes stifled as employees may begin to prioritize following instructions and avoiding mistakes over collaborating and brainstorming new ideas. The lack of openness and trust results in a lack of synergy, reducing the overall effectiveness of the team. Furthermore, a micromanaged culture leads to high levels of stress and burnout. The constant pressure to meet expectations, avoid mistakes, and follow detailed instructions can leave employees feeling overwhelmed and exhausted. Over time, this stress accumulates, leading to a decline in job satisfaction and overall well-being. Employees who feel micromanaged often become disengaged, as the excitement and motivation to do meaningful work is replaced by a constant sense of anxiety. This not only harms the individuals who are directly affected, but also hurts the organization as a whole, as disengaged employees are less likely to perform at their best or contribute to the company's long-term goals. In contrast, a healthy company culture thrives when trust, freedom, and autonomy are prioritized. Leaders who empower their employees by giving them the freedom to make decisions and the autonomy to take ownership of their work foster a sense of responsibility and accountability within the team. This type of environment encourages employees to take risks, make decisions, and learn from their mistakes without the fear of harsh judgment. As a result, employees become more confident, more engaged, and more invested in their work. They are more likely to contribute innovative ideas and work collaboratively toward common goals. By removing the constraints of micromanagement, leaders create a culture of growth where employees feel trusted, valued, and motivated to perform at their best. Ultimately, the impact of a micromanagement culture extends beyond the immediate effects on employee morale and productivity. Over time, it can erode the foundation of trust and collaboration that is essential for long-term success. A company that prioritizes trust, freedom, and autonomy creates a work environment where employees are empowered to innovate, grow, and contribute meaningfully to the organization's goals. By stepping back and allowing employees to take ownership of their work, leaders can foster a positive company culture that encourages creativity, enhances collaboration, and drives long-term success. In conclusion, micromanagement, despite its intention to ensure control, ultimately stifles trust, creativity, and growth within a team. It creates an environment of fear and dependency where employees are discouraged from taking risks or solving problems independently. Effective leadership, on the other hand, is about empowering teams, fostering autonomy, and trusting individuals to take ownership of their work. By stepping back, leaders can encourage innovation, collaboration, and personal growth, driving long-term success for both the employees and the organization. Trusting your team and prioritizing their development is the key to a thriving and resilient company culture. Micromanagement isn't leadership, it's control. And control kills creativity, kills trust, and kills potential. Instead of holding on tighter, it's time to let go. Let your team lead, let them learn and let them grow. After all, true leadership is not about managing, it's about guiding others to their own success. Thank you.